Hi everyone and welcome to episode 132 of the Talk is Cheap show. First thing I want to say, do not adjust your sets. This is not an optical illusion. We have no Curtis today, but we do have a very special guest in the house, a man that in no space of time has quickly established himself a reputation as one of the most popular Arsenal fans on YouTube. I've got to say he's one of my personal favourite characters. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give a big digital round of applause for Stricto in the house. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good, my bro, man. The introductions, man. I was thinking, where's he going to go with today? I like it.
You like it?
I like that.
No, it's great to have you back, man. How you feeling? The weather's beautiful out there.
I mean, I might look mad. The man's in a jacket. And
you look like you come straight back from Lagos or something.
Do you know what it is, yeah? I got to rep,
Repping the
culture,
African team.
Yeah, man, I got to keep, what they say, for the culture.
Yeah, rep for the culture, yes.
Yeah. We got, that's what, that's what we got to do.
Jamaican Independence Day last weekend.
Yes.
So,
big you lot up.
Yeah, respect.
Big up all the Jamaicans
out there.
Go. Yeah, United go. Yeah. What they say again? We're little but with Talawa.
Exactly. You know what? There's like a little causal link between Nigeria and Jamaica. I reckon. A lot of people say that we're very similar in our dispositions. And I wouldn't disagree with that.
Cousins,
yeah, right. But you know what? It's funny about the African thing. I've got something I'm going to ask you later. In our news and notes. And so that kind of leads me on nicely to the news and notes section of our show, which, as you guys know who watch the show regular, is a little bit of lead in where I'll just ask any topical matters that's out there that I think is worthy of you commenting on. First up on the news and notes, got to ask you, bro, I haven't seen it, but I think you may have. The Amazon documentary, All or Nothing, came out last week.
Yes.
You seen it?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, bro?
I mean, it wasn't anything that I don't think most people, well, let me talk for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that I didn't learn anything new so far. I mean, I think they released 3 episodes so far. And it's kind of, I don't really think it gave me a further insight to what I didn't already think. But what I wanted to know was how Arteta, like how he was in bad situations. For example, when we've lost, I wanted to see, was he the type that loses his rag? That kind of stuff. I wanted to see, to kind of get an answer to that. And I didn't really get much. I mean, he was more, okay, we lose, we go again kind of thing. Whether
so it was nothing out of the ordinary?
No, it was nothing out of the ordinary. Although, it was quite interesting that Arsenal did let us see certain things, because I would have thought there would be a propaganda to make everything look spick and span. And also, I think one thing that I actually did, let me actually say this, one thing that did shock me was how much Josh Kroenke comes to the games. That did shock me. He seemed like he was in a lot of the games that they showed. Again, that might be propaganda.
That might be propaganda.
You know what I'm saying? But that one did shock me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So yeah. I mean, listen, I haven't seen it. I've seen some clips and I've spoken to quite a few people who watched it, and they've said that it's a good watch. Yeah. But they didn't think it was like a proper fly on the wall thing.
It's
a bit sort of like a bit like you're saying. It's proper bit of propaganda going on.
Yeah.
Maybe tailored towards a bit of PR for the manager.
Right.
But hey, man, it works, innit? Yeah. I think a lot of people are watching it. It seems to be very popular.
I mean,
I will watch it. It's just I haven't got round to watching it yet.
I mean, it's. Why wouldn't you watch it? Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like, I'm not really someone who sits in front of television anyway to sit and watch anything. But I thought to myself, you know what? Let me just watch something different. And it is different. It's not any of them.
Did you watch the City one and the Spurs one?
Yeah, I watched.
How does it compare with those two? Because some people are telling me it's a better watch.
The City one gave you more of an insight. Because with Pep, for example, Pep's very one way in front of the media. But I think you got to see Pep in a different light with the City one. So
it came across quite passionate.
Yeah, and you also got to remember, Pep's been a manager for a long time. Arteta hasn't. So so Arteta has a way that he's brought up so far. Whereas Pep, he's been in the game for a minute, so there's a certain way he's gonna.
No, I hear you.
So that kind of thing.
I will get round to watch it. Just haven't.
Yeah, watch it, man. Watch it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Second thing I want to ask you about. We now know that Lucas Torreira is on his way to Galatasaray. To 5 million. I think with add-ons it will work out to about 6.5 million. Any thoughts on that?
Rory, And honestly, one thing that bugs me is when we sell players, why we undersell. I don't understand. Our most expensive player, I think in the last 10 years that we've sold, I think is either Iwobi or Chamberlain. But we haven't managed to sell a player for more than 30 mil.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It wasn't a great bit of business. But to be fair, when Torreira came, a lot of people were optimistic that he was going to do bits. And he started off quite well, and I remember he scored that.
He scored against Tottenham.
Yeah, and everyone was getting excited, and we thought, yeah. Because remember, he had a good World Cup.
Great World Cup.
And everyone thought, yeah, man.
I remember he was being compared to Kante.
You're right there.
Uruguayan Kante.
I don't think that's quite worked out, but yeah.
But I've never thought him to be a bad player.
No, he's a good player.
I think I just remember one time Emery almost played him as a 10. I just feel like he's never been. We've never utilised his actual talents. What he's good at. He's good at retrieving the ball. You know, he's a little pit bull. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But honestly, Laurie, like this, I mean, add-ons to 6 million.
6.5.
We bought him for 25 mil. Why we overbuy and undersell? How is this club still in business sometimes?
Wait till we sell Nicolas Pepe, then you can see it.
Oh my God, bro.
But you know one thing I'd say about Torreira is that we all accept he's a good player and still is a good player. But I think the overriding thing with him is that he never actually settled in this country. I think that was clear from the outset. He had difficulties settling in, difficulties with the language. And then, to add it all on top, he wasn't getting in the team. So obviously it's not a good look for him. So it's not quite worked out. Let's be honest, it's not worked out.
No, it hasn't.
So I think it's best for both parties that he's moved on. I hope he does well at Galatasaray. Shout out to him. Hope it goes well. But I think in the end, it was a sale that needed to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean...
There's certain players that we need to get off the books, and he's one of them.
He's one of them. I think he's actually one of the forgotten ones. Some people probably forgot we still had him. But we'll never forget his goal against Tottenham.
That's true.
He came here, bust his thing against Tottenham, and came left, fucked it up and went. Simple. I'm not praising for that.
Yeah, okay. So that's that then. And like I said, I alluded to it earlier with the African garb and all the rest of it. There was a story that I came across today that I found quite interesting. And because I knew you were coming on the show, I thought, I've got to ask Stricto about this. I don't know if you'd heard about it before, but yeah, Jose Mourinho has made some comments relating to players of African origin who play for the likes of France, Belgium, even England. European teams. And he's saying that FIFA should do more to ensure, and I don't know how they're going to quite do this, but he's saying that FIFA should do more to ensure that those players represent their countries of origin rather than European countries, because his rationale for saying that is, number one, it would make the African countries stronger, and number two, it would create a more level playing field because Europe has that talent, they're strong already, and then if you add those players on, then the likes of France, for example, and Belgium and teams like that, they're super strong, whereas some of the African countries are not as strong as they could be. And I must admit, I thought it was an interesting comment. I don't know quite how FIFA would do that, because at the end of the day, if you were born in a certain country, regardless of your origins, you're allowed to play for them, and that's it. And even if you came to that country at an early age and played your football there, then, hey, And the example I always use in terms of Jamaican, which is my origin, is that Raheem Sterling, for example, he was born in Jamaica, came here at a young age, went on to play for England, has done very well, is one of England's more established players, has captained England on occasion. You chat to a lot of Jamaican people, they don't have a problem with that, because they're saying, listen, especially when Raheem was making his way, Jamaica weren't strong. So if he can play for England and develop his career in his football, they got no problem with it. Anyway, so what's your thoughts?
I mean, first of all, it's very difficult to give FIFA that obligation to implement such a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I think you got to talk about free will. Yeah. And in Mourinho saying that, then the argument could also be made that, it opens the argument to say, well, let's have English managers managing English clubs.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that way, English managers can grow and showcase their talents, but they're not able to do so because foreign managers are coming. But I do see the light in what he's saying. But
I think it's come from a positive place, what he's saying.
But the issue that I'm having, the biggest issue that I'm having, and I've told you this before, maybe offline, off air, is let's take it. Let's talk about the likes of Eddie Nketiah, Tariq Lamptey, and players like this who have switched allegiance from England to Ghana purely because they can't get into the English team.
And now, don't forget, there's a World Cup coming. And that had a lot to do with it.
I'm touching that in a second. Yeah. Purely because they can't get into the in the English team, right? And now what they're doing is, because of their influence of being high-profile players who play in the Premier League, they can go back to their origins, Ghana, whichever African countries, go back to Ghana and say, yeah, I want to play for you. Only because of the World Cup. You weren't there. They didn't represent the country when the countries were playing away in Burkina Faso, away in all these unfavorable conditions. And the other players who were in that position, who got Ghana to the World Cup, are now going to have to sit on the bench. That's what FIFA need to look at and say, yo, that's not fair. That's not fair. Because a man has put his effort, his sweat to get his country into the World Cup. And then now, because there's a high-profile player, he's going to come take his place. And he can't say nothing. True. He can't say nothing. That's what the problem is. Do you understand? Once you've made your bed, you lie in it. Okay. It's not club football. It's international football. If you want to represent England, there's no problem. If you're born here or you've lived here long enough to qualify, whatever, cool. That's, as long as the England or whichever European club chooses you, cool, you play for that. But when you realize that you can no longer make it into the English team, now you want to run back. That's where FIFA goes say, no. Okay.
Well, you've heard it. It's an interesting subject. We could talk about it for a lot longer, but we've got other things to talk about. But what do you guys think? It certainly is an interesting topic of debate, and I've been sort of liaising and talking online with some of my African friends who have had quite a difference of opinion, and it's interesting to listen to yours. But anyway, got to move on. Thanks for that, bro. Right, so let's move on. Talk about Arsenal's last game. Last weekend, last Friday. It was the first game of the Premier League season, the curtain raiser, a feisty London derby, North versus South, or South versus North, Crystal Palace, South London, Arsenal, North London, away from home. A lot of people said that this is going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal. I certainly thought it would be. I did predict that we would win, but I thought that it was going to be difficult. And, it was difficult at times, but we ran out winners, 2-0. And let's face it, Palace are no walk in the park, man.
No, definitely not.
I think we'd won, prior to Friday, we'd won one in the last 8 Premier League games. And to go to their ground on the first day of the season, if you remember last season, the corresponding fixture, it got slapped up by Brentford. So there was a bit of, apprehension in the air. But you know what? We got off to a great start, got the goal, and then held off Palace, and then got another goal late on, 2-0 win. Stricto, you was at the game, right?
I was there.
So tell the people, man.
I was there at the game. First and foremost, 3 points. First game of the season. Let's look at the positives here. First game of the season, away game. If you look at how we've been the last few seasons, that's been the catalyst of why we start so bad. Away game. We came through it. It wasn't easy. I mean, first half, we absolutely blew them apart. The high intensity, but second half we couldn't keep up with that intensity. But we depend. I mean, Saliba. I mean, I said it in my fan cam. He, what a player we've got there. People say I'm too negative, but I just get annoyed sometimes. I get annoyed sometimes. I look at a player like Saliba and I think to myself, all right, you send him out on loan, right? You send him out on loan because you want him to develop, right? And you feel like, oh, hold on, a big club like Marseille will take him, and they're not looking for him to develop. They're looking for him to play
straight away,
right? Yeah. And you think this guy is better than what he's left behind. He's better than Holding. And you're telling me he still needs to develop. But Holding is here, and you think towards the end of last season where we had the injuries, and you think Holding had to come in. And no disrespect to Holding, he's been a very loyal servant to the Arsenal, and big him up. But at the end of the day, it's a results business. You want the best playing the best at all times. You think there's a couple games Saliba would have done a much better job than Holding because Saliba is a much better player than Holding. But, everyone gives Arteta the praise because, he's developed well, now he's back. Oh, yeah, well done, Arteta. But, nah, it's not well done, Arteta. Like, we blew top 4 because of these margins. Some say small margins, but I think they're big margins.
Okay, so you've spoken about Saliba, who, by the way, was outstanding, man of the match. Although I have to say Ben White was alongside him very good. But let's talk at the top end of the pitch because we got off to such a great start. And the man who spearheaded that, in my opinion, was Gabriel Jesus. He's been a bit of a revelation in pre-season. And he didn't score, but he did very well up top, led the line, created some very dangerous moments, could have had a goal. What was your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think with Gabriel, you know what you're going to get with him. You see him at City, he's one of those players that is always pressing. He's always about in and around the area, looks to get others involved. I think for his debut, very, very impressive. We saw what it was like in pre-season, like you were saying. And a few of the times I saw him jiggling in, but maybe give him a little bit more time just to get his shooting boots on. Because there was a few times when he was in position to shoot. Not just him, even Odegaard. We put ourselves in a position to have a shot, but we don't take the shots.
No, I see that.
But he was very, very impressive. I think he's a different option to what we've had in the last few seasons. But he's
got to ask you as well, Zinchenko.
He was equally good. He was equally good. He went forward, overlapping. Defensively, I see a few things there I think he could improve on. But again, his first game of the season, it can only get better. Do you know what I mean?
I was very impressed by Zinchenko. He looks good. I think he's going to be a really good player for Arsenal.
And he got the assist, right, for the first goal. He got the assist. He had no right.
That training ground move, man. I saw the way after they scored the goal. I don't know if you would have seen it. He was at the game, but he went straight to Airport Albert there.
Oh, really?
And they embraced, and I thought, man, that's obviously a training ground move.
It's worked.
And later on, Arteta was asked, and he did say, he credits that with the training staff. So
that's good.
That's good to see.
It's good when it comes off.
Because we don't often score from set pieces at Arsenal, let's be honest. No. So, man, that was good.
I mean, if you think the shorter man as well, bringing that header across. It was perfect.
That was a good goal. Well worked. And like I said, it was a great start by Arsenal.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the way I saw that game was, I was looking at that game and I was thinking, even though we were in the ascendancy, I'm thinking to myself, at some point, Palace are going to come back at us. And so they did in the second half. They came back at us quite strong, actually. And this is where Saliba and Ben White come into play, because I have to say that in previous years, the way Palace came back at us, we could have, if not folded, but we would have been under severe pressure. Yeah. Well, we were under pressure. But those two guys, man, they played really well.
Ramsdale actually
Ramsdale as well.
He kept us in there.
Yeah, man.
He did.
I mean, listen, everyone played their part. But, those two at the back there, Saliba in particular, but Ben White too has been given a lot of credit because, don't get me wrong, man, Palace were on it. And in fact, I had a look at some stats after the game and you'll be surprised at how close it was. So, shots on goal, Palace 10, Arsenal 10. Oh, wow. Shots on target, Palace 2, Arsenal 2. Possession, Palace actually had more possession than we did.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So, in that second half especially, it was a kind of backs to the wall type performance.
I mean, if you look in recent years, we've had to endure with Mustafi. We've had to endure with David Luiz. We've had to endure with Socrates. We've had to endure with, all these players who, concentration so low, ability is limited. Once the pressure goes, gets on top, they get under. Yeah. So you can see, like I said, our centre back, our defensive lineup has definitely been an area that definitely has been improved.
Yeah.
Like Saliba, look at his stature.
Oh man,
he's a big guy. Not only is he big, he's very mobile. Because I think what most big men struggle with is, being mobile. Myself. Do you know what I'm saying? We struggle with that, but he's everywhere. He's agile. He's
and he
still
can
young,
play.
And he can play.
He can play, bro.
He can play. Gabriel, same thing. Look at the stature. I haven't seen it like this in years.
No, that's a great point.
Where you seen two centre backs, 6 foot plus,
running things,
physically able, physically capable. We've missed that.
Yeah.
We've really missed that for about 10
like
years.
You said, they can play as well.
Yeah.
And then Ben White, let's face it, he was played out of position there on the right back, and he coped admirably.
Great. You know, I thought you know, Zaha would have run him ragged.
Yeah.
And you know, he did what he had to do and got, you know. But those are the improvements there. But those are also the margins. Those are the margins there. And luckily we came through it.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Saliba, man of the match. Gary Neville described him as like Rio Ferdinand. I'm going to say he looked to me. I was calling him William van Dijk after that game.
I mean, you can see.
What's your thoughts?
You can see I made the comparisons with Vincent Kompany.
Wow. So you got Ferdinand, Van Dijk, and Kompany all in one.
Wow. And that's saying something because everyone's seen in him the best defenders that the league has had. You're saying Van Dijk. Other people are saying Ferdinand. I'm saying Kompany. So everyone's seeing quality in him.
Comparing him to the top guys.
To the top guys.
After one game.
I mean, you might say we're getting ahead of ourselves, which we probably are.
We probably are.
You know, the real test will come, you know, as the season, as the games go on, and you know, fatigue and all that kind of stuff setting. You know, but so far, so good. So far, so good.
No, I agree, man. I mean,
What do you think about his loaning?
You know what? I'm kind of with you, bro. Like I was a bit sort of disenchanted, a bit perplexed as to why it took them so long to get him back. You know what I mean? And don't forget, during that time, we spent 50 million on Ben White. So it could be argued that had he been there from time, that 50 million might have been spent elsewhere. But that's a moot point now because what's done is done. But yeah, I was a bit perplexed as to why this guy had taken so long to come here. And in fact, I was saying to Curtis, shout out to Curtis, by the way, I know he's watching. By the way, those of you who are wondering, Curtis is not here. He's got some family commitments to take care of. It's nothing more than that, so don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? He'll be back next week. But he's been admirably replaced by my man on the left there. So where was I? I was talking about Saliba and the loan business to Marseille. Yeah. On a similar point, I'm going to ask your point on this. I don't think that we should have loaned out Nuno. And I'm not just saying that because he scored a worldie the other day. I'm saying that I see enough talent in that guy. I think he should be with Arsenal. We should be developing him because we may need him with injuries and that. And I mean, okay, you know, we brought Zinchenko in as cover for Tierney on that side. But I wanted Nuno to stay at Arsenal and develop rather than see him go out on loan. Okay, if he goes out on loan and he plays regularly, he does well, fair enough. But what's your thoughts on Nuno going out on loan?
I mean, with Nuno, I think Arteta, again, made it quite clear. If you look at the course of last season, you know, I think about the Nottingham Forest game, FA Cup, where he hooked him off quite early.
Too early.
You know, I mean, when you look at things like that, you even have to ask yourself if Nuno has confidence in the manager himself. Talk less of the manager having confidence in him. So he might wanted to come out of that situation, and if you go back to, you haven't watched it, but the All or Nothing, he actually talks about he knows the fans love Tierney.
Oh, right.
He actually talks about
Nuno said that?
Nuno said that. You know, and I kind of felt sorry for him because this was, I think, straight after the Liverpool game where he made a couple errors. And so he's talking and he says, look, the fans love KT. You know, and he's almost kind of...
They do, but
he's almost kind of saying it in a sense of like, what have I got to do here? Like, you know,
interesting.
And this is straight after his errors. So he's kind of feeling sorry for himself. And I think maybe in this instance, maybe he does need to go on loan, kind of feel loved a bit, feel confidence within himself, and then possibly come back. Like you said, the boy has unbelievable talent. And one thing he does have is engine. He never stops. Like from 0 to 95th, he's up and down. You know, if you can curb some of these errors, which come from enthusiasm, you know.
And from inexperience.
Inexperience, right. Yeah. So, you know, if you can go and make his mistakes out there with Marseille, and then come back. But I highly rate him.
I do, man. Listen, you hinted at it there. His athleticism is next level.
Yeah.
His decision making is not quite at that level. However, that's a work in progress. You know what I mean? And that's where the coaching staff at Arsenal can develop him. But anyway, what's done is done. Let's move on. We got the win, 3 points.
Yeah.
Happy with that, I'm sure.
Of course.
But as I've entitled this show, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And this week at the Emirates, first home game. You going?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Arsenal versus Leicester.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that game. It's almost like the perfect game after the Palace game. No disrespect to Leicester, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's an easy touch, but it's a home game. It's going to be a great day. Saturday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're at home. Optimism levels are high, especially after that win. Leicester are coming to town now. We've done well against Leicester in recent years, and it has to be said, they're not at their strongest. They drew at the weekend. Last weekend with Brentford, they were 2 up. They dropped.
Yeah, they dropped points.
Yeah, and we're hearing rumours that some of their players might be a little unsettled. A certain Yuri Tillemans, who we have shown interest in, and James Maddison, I've been hearing we might be interested in him. But it would appear anyway that a few of their players are unsettled. So it could be that we're getting them at the right time. What's your thoughts on it? Yeah,
like you said, the right time. You know, they are unbalanced at the moment. Definitely the team's going in need of a transition. They seem to be losing top players every season.
And when you add to that, I think they're the only team in the Premiership that's not brought anyone in, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean,
they've lost Kasper Schmeichel, who was their captain and one of their foremost players.
Yeah, the top goalkeeper.
Yeah,
they've lost a very valuable player.
Very valuable player, both on and off the pitch.
But in terms of test, it's still always a test.
It's definitely. Yeah.
More time is not really the team we're playing, is actually us. You know, we seem to battle against ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, if proper Arsenal turns up, we beat up any team at home. But it's usually us that
not
is.
City though, or Liverpool.
I think if the proper Arsenal turns up, you know, it's a
I hear
game.
what you say. I hear
Do you understand?
saying.
It's a debate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, Leicester, how they are now currently, you know, we should based on our last game and based on their last game. But again, it's a different game when you play.
It's a Premier League.
It's a Premier League. You can never predict these things. However, like Tillemans, I still hope we can get this guy.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think he definitely improves the squad, improves the midfield by 1,000,000%.
Apparently he had a good game for Leicester as well.
Yeah.
And listen, he will be coming, him and Maddison, by the way. Actually, you know what I mean? I'm not being disingenuous to Leicester because all the players will want to impress. But those two in particular, I would have thought there'll be more motivation, given that they're in the shop window right now.
Of course.
That they will want to go out there and you're talking quality players. And let's not forget Jamie Vardy, man, who always does well against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And my man needs the goal bonuses, man.
But there's no more Mustafi. But there's no
He
Mustafi
needs them
there.
goal bonuses after what happened to his wife the other day. They need that money.
But
there's a 3 million hole in the finances,
in the Vardy household.
Yeah, so my man's got to rock up with some goal bonuses this season.
But he's probably more pissed at Mustafi not being there because Mustafi's helped fill in his piggy banks, you know.
But you know what though? I'm just thinking out loud. That will be an interesting test for Saliba this week, man. Because it's maybe not the same Jamie Vardy as a few years back.
Yeah,
but Jamie Vardy on his day, you know, bro. That's a serious test.
He's a problem.
Yeah, so you can't overlook that, bro.
And they've got that Dewsbury Hall guy.
Yeah, I saw his goal at the weekend. And Harvey Barnes. Telemans, like we spoke of.
Yes, no slouch.
Yeah,
they're no slouch.
Ndidi, your boy.
Kelechi,
you know what I mean?
Kelechi, yeah. And what's the other guy who scored?
Amati. They got Amati's there.
Oh, no, he's
Big up the Ghana here, right?
I forgot. Daka? Is it Daka?
Harvey Barnes?
No, Patterson Daka.
Patterson Daka, yeah.
He's a problem.
They have some proper players.
They got players.
They ain't going to be no walk in the park.
They got players.
No way.
And like you said, Tillemans, he knows on the shop window. You know, he knows Arsenal are looking at him, so he's got that incentive to play mad. Hopefully, he doesn't have a performance where. I mean, it's a catch-22. He plays well. Arsenal fans, we want him. He plays not too well. Some people are like, is he what we need? But he's what we need. Like you said, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Not a sprint.
Listen, after the first game, man, I must admit, even though Palace did push us hard in that second half, once we got that second goal and it was obviously we were going to win, I was very optimistic. I'm like, yeah, man, that's a great win. Even if it wasn't a great performance for the whole 90 minutes, but it was a great win and it sets us up. But, you know, we got to remember there's a long way to go. Just on that, the team for this weekend, what would you like to see? Same team or any changes? Anyone like to see come in or what?
I mean, same as, you know, unless the injury doesn't allow it. But yeah, the same
team.
This is the same team. Zinchenko, Jesus,
all the new boys in there.
Yeah. Partey and
he had a good game last week. Partey.
He did. He had some difficult moments with some chants in the crowd or whatnot. But we
won't go there.
But he dealt with it. That definitely didn't stop him playing.
No,
this game.
Definitely not.
So
I thought he had a good game.
that.
Xhaka, I thought had a good game as well, man.
Yeah, it was
a
all
good
right.
all-round. So you're saying you like to see the same team?
I like to see the same team because
you know what I'm going to say. If I did have an issue with last week, I'll tell you what it is. See what you think about this. I thought, given the pressure we was under as well, that the manager could have made substitutions a little early. Now listen, we won the game, and it's funny because we scored this second goal not too long after when he made the substitution.
Yes.
And me and Robbie had been going back and forth in the watch along. So Robbie was saying, listen, man, he's vindicated because look, he made the substitutions, we got the second goal, and we saw the game out. But I must admit, when it was 1-0 and the way Palace were coming at us, I was looking at the game and thinking, we badly need an injection of some intensity and some, some new energy.
Yeah.
And I thought he made the substitutions a bit late. And I have to say, I've got to keep it 100. I've had that's a recurring criticism I've had of the manager over last season and even before then, that he tends to make substitutions a bit late. He's not proactive. Yeah. He's more reactive. What's your thoughts on that?
I do agree with you. I think he's very obvious.
Yeah.
Because if you're the opposing manager, you kind of know around what time. He doesn't kind of
75, 80 minutes.
Yeah, he's kind of predictable in that sense. So you can kind of play your cards and he still won't react. So I can say he's very reactive, not proactive. But he's vindicated.
He's vindicated. We won the game. Instance,
so as soon as them changes were made, we seem to get the second goal.
And again, I'm trying not to be hypercritical because I'm giving him credit. Yeah. The signings he's made over the summer, the energy that I see within the team, the bond looks good, everything looks proper. So, but I do have that slight concern about him going forward.
I think I have a concern as well. Like I was saying to you offline, we need to strengthen our attack. Jesus gets injured and we're left with Eddie. Which if you
I get the impression that you're not a big Eddie fan.
No, I'm
Curtis.
not.
If Curtis was sitting there, I'm sure he'd be saying the same thing.
I mean, it's not even. It's not. I love Eddie. I love Eddie, and I can be harsh on him at times, but I don't think it's even him I'm harsh on. I think I'm harsh on the ones above, the ones picking it.
You saying he needs more backup?
Yeah, you need more backup because if you think, so we got rid of 2 strikers last season, right? So Laka and Oba. And essentially, we've only replaced with 1 striker. So one striker still short. Because if anything happens, then we're just left with Eddie. And if you're really looking to challenge, and if you look at the other teams around us, do they have strikers the quality of Eddie starting for them? They don't.
You know what though? I'm going to say this, and I've said this. I'm not just saying it now. I've been saying it in previous weeks. I believe in that Eddie project, man. I do believe. I reckon people have told me he's bulked up. He looks physically stronger. I think that what he needs is the opportunity. I think it's a confidence thing with him. He gave an interview last season, which he said he was a little disappointed that he's not had more chances. And he said, and I'm quoting him indirectly, but he was paraphrasing him. But he said, "I believe if I'm given the opportunities, I will get the goals." And if you look at his record for England. The under-21s or whatever it is, and
you mean Ghana?
No, he's over the years he's shown himself to be a goal scorer. Not yet for the Arsenal first team, but he needs the opportunity. And I think if he's given the opportunities, he will get goals. You saw towards the end of last season, I think he got 5 in 10, so that's 1 in 2.
He proved that,
and he's a handful up front, man. I mean, he's nippy and he's bulked up a bit. And his attitude is good, as the manager said on several occasions. So give him a chance.
One thing I give Eddie, and is a thing I've heard ex-pros, even players say, is he's at the right place at the right time. Like he's in and around, fox in the box kind of thing. And I hear that's something that can't be coached. You either got it or you don't have it.
Okay.
And
good point.
And I actually got to give him that because he's, when there's a pinball going around, the ball's bouncing off a defender's shin. Eddie just knows the right place to be and to put it away, So I give him that. But
his pressing is good as well.
His pressing definitely. Like he presses very well, and him and Jesus that can work. But again, if you think of a player who presses, if he's left alone to do that with an injury to Jesus, for example, it's a very difficult thing to maintain. You know, I do think we still need another striker, and I think we need a different, not even another, we need a different striker. Like you know, if you think of like a striker the mold of Giroud, for example, someone who,
or even Haaland,
you know, someone, yeah, yeah, right, you know, someone who could hold the ball. Someone who's an aerial
classic
threat.
number 9.
It's classic number 9. You know, your Shearers, so to speak. Someone who can hold the ball. Someone who Route 1 can work with. That, you know, kind of a different option. You know, because Eddie and Jesus, although they're 2 different qualities, but are similar. Because you know, pace, can get in behind, and that kind of stuff. We do need another option.
Mind you, you know what I mean? It's not like you can go Sainsbury's and just pick one up, man. Those players are very hard to come by. You know what I mean? Man City are lucky that they got Haaland. I mean, I saw Haaland at the weekend. I was like, "Rah, man, this guy looks next level."
Machine.
And I must admit, I saw that, and I'm thinking to myself,
he's
even as an Arsenal fan, I'm thinking, I know it's only one game, and again, we don't want to get carried away. But I'm looking at City, and I'm thinking it could be that the rest of us are playing for Champions League places. You know what I mean?
Because, real talk.
Because he looks like that final piece of the jigsaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, we won't talk about City. Let's get back to Arsenal and Leicester. You said you want to see the same team. Tactics, how do you want to see us? Presumably you want to see us go for it.
Yeah,
Boom.
Same.
Fast out the traps.
Yeah, same. Because I mean, the difference is now you're at home. The fans, you know, the fans will be...
Same formation?
Same formation. You know, same formation. You know, if situation... We just need to start on the front foot like we did against Palace. We need to start on the front foot and manage clearly we didn't manage ourselves because we exerted so much energy. You know, we've got to manage it this time, you know. But I think with the crowd behind you, that kind of helps as well. Do you know what I mean?
Good point.
So I would keep it exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
No, I would agree with that. Like you said, it's important to get a good start. Sometimes the problem though with a good start is that if the opposing team soak it up, you know that at some point they're going to come back at you. And that's what happened on Friday. But then I was expecting that because Palace are at home. And you know Palace are a very energetic, physical side. Yeah. Leicester are similar, but I think they will play a little bit more safer. They're not going to want to go down early against us. I think they'll hold back a little.
Do you think they're going for the win? Do you think they're coming for the win or just get something out of the game?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they won't want to lose, especially after their draw. It was disappointing for them because they were 2 goals up and then they got clawed back. So yeah, that is a good point. I think that they will be fairly cautious and they'll try and hit us up on the break with Vardy and stuff like that. So we will have a lot of the ball. But I am expecting us to win, man. Which leads me to my next thing. I've got to get a prediction from you, man. Presumably you think Arsenal are going to win.
Yeah.
You seem confident.
Yeah, I do seem confident.
A scoreline?
3-1.
3-1. Sounds good.
3-1. I hope Jesus gets a hat-trick. He just seems like that kind of player. It just seems like he will sniff at any little errors there. You saw him against Palace where he got the ball from Mark Gay.
Oh man!
You know, he had no chance. He had no reason to get that, and he sniffed, got in front of him. You know, unfortunately,
he's got that extra bit of quality, man. That can do that.
Odegaard couldn't finish, but I think I can see him getting his goals in front of the home crowd.
I'm going 2-0, bro. I'm going for...
that's too safe, man.
No, but you know why?
That's a tie. That's a tie.
No, but you know what it is? We beat them 2-0 both times last season as well.
Right. So you're saying...
I'm going 2-0 again. I'm like, Gabriel, it may even be 3. I hope I'm not sounding too overconfident. But listen, Leicester, there will be patches where we will have to be watchful because Leicester are a good team. I'm not saying that it's a walk in the park or nothing like that. It will be a tough game, but I am expecting Arsenal to win. We're on a high right now. We were on a high coming into that first game. A lot of people said that Palace is going to be a real stern test, and it was in the second half, but we come through it without conceding a goal, so I'm going same again this week.
What was your prediction last week?
Last week I was saying 3-1 to us.
Okay.
I thought that. In fact, I think I even said in my assessment before the game that Palace might score first, and we might have to come back from behind and win. But you know, we kept a clean sheet, and I'm thinking we're going to do the same again this week. My boy Saliba, man, William Van Dijk is what I call him.
The Wall. The Wall, that's what I'm calling him. The Wall.
William Van Dijk, a.k.a. William Company, a.k.a. William Ferdinand.
All the AKAs, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean?
So he's in good company, man.
Maybe in years to come, we'll be using his name to assess other players.
Right.
Hopefully that's how it runs, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know
right.
I mean?
That's a good point, you know. But it should be a good game, most importantly. And also, like, I don't want it to happen, but I would love to see, like you just said, I would love to see our mentality going to go down. I don't want us to have to go down, but I would love to see the mentality, like in adversity.
Yeah.
You know, how have we improved from, you know?
No, but don't you think, bro, that last week we did see that? Because in that second half, bro, there were times when, you know what I mean, Zaha was threatening to run riot, you know what I mean? He was getting the ball and they were running at us and, you know what I mean, it was getting a bit dicey in there and I'm thinking, right. And like I said earlier on in the show, in previous years, sorry, getting some flies going on. In previous years...
Female flies.
Yeah. In previous years, we might have buckled under that type of pressure, but we didn't. I mean, that was encouraging to see.
But I think adversity is like, you know, you got to measure it. You know, if you're the flies on.
They're on you now. Yeah.
But like, you got to measure it. Like, if you go a goal down, it should bring out a different animal to actually hold him back and attack.
Yeah.
You know, constant pressure. I think those are two different things because you got to go down. That then becomes the team's adversity. As opposed to just the defender's adversity.
Sure, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see it, but I would love to see how you know, I'd be interested to see how that would pan out.
Well, listen, let's hope we get the win and, you know what I mean, let's hope we're both right in terms that, you know, we do win the game. You're going...
I'm going there.
3-1, you said?
I'm going 3-1, yeah.
I'm going 2-0.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I said 3-1, yeah, you got 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0. Yeah. So I think we both agree that
we're going to get... Who's scoring?
Jason's definitely going to get one of them. In fact, I'm going to say he gets 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean, he came close a couple of times last week. He was nearly there, man. But yeah, if he gets one and Eddie gets one or whatever, I don't care, as long as we win. But yeah, man. Right, so in closing, bro, just want to say thanks very much for coming on. As usual, you've been a great guest. You always come on and give your forthright opinions, man. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about you. That's why you're such a popular member of the Arsenal fans in this YouTube space, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? You speak your truths, and I appreciate that, and it's great to have you on. You're filling in for Curtis.
Thank you,
Curtis is back next week, but you've been a great guest. Anything you want to say, you know?
Listen, thanks for having me. And as always, people, follow my social medias. You know, I'm still trying to grow it.
Still trying to grow it.
I'm still trying to grow it. You know, I'm not as active, but I am now. So my Instagram, BH_Stricto. That's
BH_Stricto.
Yeah, and
what's the BH stand for?
Big homie.
Okay.
Big homie.
I call him Big Stricto. So big homie makes sense.
Big homie_Stricto. And then my YouTube, Stricto Strict on YouTube. Stricto Strict. Make sure you subscribe, please. Yeah. So so I'm looking to put out new content, but of course I need the support from everyone.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you appearing on this show will
give
you some new followers and some new views, man. But thank you very much.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. And thanks to you guys for watching the show, supporting AFTV. We really appreciate it. Catch us next week. We'll have another great show for you lined up next week. Thank you very much.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.